And now,
it's 10 a.m.
let's just get down to it.
And it's time for your sports fix.
Strap yourselves in, folks.
From two guys who have covered the teams you're passionate about for years.
We are professionals.
This is Jake Scott and Ben Anderson on 97.5 The KSL Sports Zone.
Jake and Ben, 97.5 The KSL Sports Zone. Jake Scott, Ben Anderson. Thanks for making us a part of your Thursday. How's it going over there, Ben?
I'm doing all right. How are you?
You know what's funny is I complain about the same things over and over again. And I definitely realized at some point that I have complained about overtime games way too much because every time a game goes to overtime now, everyone I know talks to me like I just lost someone. Like, oh, I thought of you when it went to overtime. And
prayers.
Man, prayers up for you. I mean, it's literally the first thing David James said to me.
It's the first thing I think of when a team game goes overtime. I think, oh, Jake's going to have a bad one. Thank goodness this game started at 6.
It's like, I think I complain about that a lot. Now everybody just identifies me with overtime. Although I do have a saying when people ask me who I root for. I say I root for the game to end in regulation.
Yeah.
That's what I root for.
Team number 48. 48 minutes.
48 minutes. That's me. I like that. Team 48. I might have to steal that. But it is funny. I text my wife last night. I was like, oh, it's going overtime. And she's like, oh, I should redo the text. Like, oh, I'm so sorry. My heart is just going out to you right now.
But you survived.
Oh, yeah, it was fine. And, of course, you know what? Complaints about overtime aside, I will take an interesting game. Honest talk, as much as I hate overtime, I'll take like an interesting game to talk about like that. Like that?
Where's our producer?
Over
Like
the Portland game where there was just nothing.
That was a great game last night.
What do you talk about after the Portland game, honestly? And not like long-term hot take stuff like you and I like to spit out. You know, a post-game show is for the most part
It's the micro.
talking about the game. The post-game.
Yeah.
And after that Portland game, it's just a desert. I'm looking at a whole post-game of just, so Tim, that's a nice shirt you're wearing tonight.
Right.
Yeah, good fit on you. Is that J. Crew?
Right.
Whereas last night was entertaining, and we can dig into it, and there was a ton of stuff to talk about in the postgame. So as much as I get irritated by overtime, at least we had a zillion things to talk about in the postgame.
Really, a zillion?
Really, you're going to hold me literally? That's what's going to happen right now?
Christian out of nowhere. Dropping in.
Just clowning me
Fact
for
check.
no reason.
I know. What the hell? What's
I
wrong
have
with this guy?
have to beg him to play like that, but I overstate something just slightly, and I get
Hyperbole at all.
literally
A zillion.
literally a zillion.
You know what I thought actually was interesting about the game yesterday, and maybe I'm just more interested in this just because big picture NBA stuff does matter to me, was that I just don't know if we can feel safe that the Thunder are going to repeat as champions. And again, it's one game yesterday. They probably should shut it down a little bit and try and prepare themselves for the second half of the season and make sure they're fully rested. But you play 100 games like they did last year because they played 2 7-game series in the playoffs. They go to the play-in, or I should say the Cup championship again this year, right? Or at least the Cup playoffs. So that's just kind of extra wear and tear on your body. They're 24-1 to start the year. You just kind of wonder if they ran the sprint instead of the marathon already. And because they look gassed. I mean, nobody outside of Shai Gilgeous-Alexander I thought was any good yesterday. And, Chet's fine. He had 23 points or whatever it was. And J-Dub's a good player. And they're missing key players. They didn't have either of their traditional centers, hence Brandon Carlson playing a lot. And credit him. He's really carved himself out a nice role in the NBA. They're missing Alex Caruso. But I just don't know how many repeat champions we're going to see right now in the NBA. I just think it's such a marathon every year to win that the idea of coming back, teams don't really know how to do it.
I know we've talked about that, the one-offs, and if that was going to become common. And I had that opinion until the Thunder, and I don't think the game changes my opinion, honestly.
I'm with you.
Like
they're the most primed to repeat of any team we've seen so far in this group.
Hartenstein and Caruso are so critical to what they do.
And legit championship pieces, like good players on a championship team.
We can talk about how Yusuf Nurkic single-handedly lost that game for the team. We can get into that. But Yusuf Nurkic ragdolling guys all night.
Just pushing everybody out of the way.
That was the flaw of Oklahoma City. That's why we talked about the Hartenstein trade being just
monumental.
Magic.
Yeah.
I mean, just key for them. And the Caruso, to a lesser extent, but you can kind of put it in the same category. They got rid of kind of a somewhat offense-only guy in Giddey that wasn't really tough, that didn't, I don't know, Giddey's a fine player, but he's not what that team needed.
Yeah.
They needed a tough guy to reinforce their defense, and their defense is historically good, and even in their struggles over the last 13 games, has been historically good. So, actually maybe slipped a little. I can't remember what Locke was saying. They've been like second in the league instead of first over the last 12 games. But it's awesome. And they don't even have those two guys.
Right.
So I don't think my opinion has really changed on Oklahoma City. I just think, and we talked to Mike Smith about this, I don't think NBA teams are, reality is the full 82. Mm-hmm. Like, there are stretches in seasons of 15s, of 20, of whatever games that just aren't reality. The Jazz, in the example I used, the Jazz in 2021, 2022, where they won 21 of 23 games, and they were just smoking teams. That wasn't reality. That was a good stretch of a good team playing well, but that wasn't reality.
Right.
Oklahoma City going 6-6, or I guess, 7-6 now over the last 13? That's not reality, but nor was the first. What did they win? They went 21-2? Mm-hmm. That's not real either.
Right.
So
24-1.
24-1, is that what it was?
The Thunder this year.
The Thunder this year, 24-1? That wasn't reality either.
No.
So, we're all saying, oh, this could be the best team of all time. Stop it. That's why I hate grand pronouncements like that after, I don't know, what are we, a third into the season?
Like that?
Almost halfway, but
Almost halfway into the year? I mean, it's just that kind of grand pronouncement is silly. I don't see, I guess if you want to talk about whether OKC is the favorite or not, if OKC is not, tell me who is.
Right. And right now I would probably say Denver.
Yeah.
Maybe San Antonio. Denver's just so beat up right now. They may not get healthy before the end of the year. They're missing 4 of their 5
But they're
starters.
not perfect either. They didn't solve their depth problems, and they're going to have issues scoring in the playoffs, I would bet. San Antonio's never done it before, and they're far from perfect, and they have 16 point guards that they have to share the ball with. So
they've just never been there.
Never been there. The Knicks are terrible. The whole East is terrible.
Yeah, the East is not good.
So, I mean, if
Pistons might be okay.
If not Oklahoma City, then who?
I do think the Thunder should absolutely still be considered the favorite. I just wonder if, yes, at 24-1, which you're right, you're totally accurate, was not who they actually are. They looked like they were going to trounce everybody and sweep through the playoffs. And now with, almost half of the season as a sample size, I start to think, those 2 7-game series they went to last year with Denver and with the Pacers are probably a more accurate example of who they are versus a 24-1 team.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And on top of that, 24-1 without Jalen Williams for most of it. I mean, it's just, that wasn't reality. You could look at it and go, wow, this is a really good team, probably the best in the league. Sure, I'll come along with you. But you think they were going to keep that pace going? That's just not real. And I heard or saw people online nitpicking their schedule and stuff like that, and easy games and this and that. And it's like, yeah, right. Did you think they were going to lose 3 games all year?
Right. Nobody does.
Nobody.
Yeah.
Nobody does. So it's just not reality. And then they come back down to earth, and then you see what comes out of adversity. I mean, you hear coaches talk about it all the time. So I don't know. I'm not that concerned about Oklahoma City. I am annoyed with the amount of free throws that Shea takes. And some of the just phantom calls are, so James Harden, reminiscent of James Harden. That's just so annoying to watch, even though I do like Shea and his demeanor and his game and all that, but 19 free throws. Jeez, spare me.
He does have the perfect body for it. He's long, so he draws contact, and he's so slithery, he gets into the bodies.
But you know what? It's not like he's even selling it. They're just giving it.
Yeah, sure.
He's not even like James Harden used to sell it. He'd bring that the bring it through. He kind of created that sweet through or whatever. And if you just touch his arm, he'd act like he'd been shot in the back. Ah! Like Shea doesn't even do that. They just give him the whistle.
Yeah, just take it.
Yeah.
Just go to the line.
It's all right.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny.
But it was a fun game. Ultimately, a game that had to go to overtime. And yes, you talked about Yusuf Nurkic, who was at points critical and also, when he gets in foul trouble, it's difficult.
The great flaw of this Jazz team is the bigs.
Yeah.
It is. I wonder how many games they could have won with Walker Kessler, honestly. Mm-hmm. Because Nurk, you can't take him off the floor because Phil is just not him.
Right.
And Kevin Love's not playing. And they tried Taylor Hendricks when Nurk picked up his 5th foul. And bless Taylor's heart, he's given it his all out there, but it's just not. He's like a foot shorter than Chet.
Yeah, he can't hang with those guys. Right
No,
now.
he just can't. So the Jazz are in this weird situation where they've got to play Nurk. It's damned if you do and damned if you don't. But how on earth can a player go 6 of 16 as your center? How is that possible?
Well, on one possession, I think he missed 4 layups. Maybe it was 3, but yeah, I mean, he racks up a lot of.
And at critical moments, like in the last minute in the fourth quarter, like, I'm going to go out there, I'm going to make a move, I'm going to get to the hoop, and then I'm going to just butcher this layup.
I am an unbridled fan of Yusuf Nurkic. I think he's incredibly enjoyable to watch. He has his numbers are a little fugazi in the fact that he gets a lot of, as we say, me bounds. He gets he taps
10 offensive rebounds
he taps
last
in
night.
a lot of his own misses, and those don't always go in either. So he gets 2 or 3 rebounds on his own possessions a lot of the times, and they don't always result in baskets. It'd be one thing if every one of them finished with a make.
Aren't they calling that the Angel Reese now?
Yeah, the Angel Reese.
Angel Reese, the way to pad that box score.
Yeah, miss a shot and get your own rebound.
Oh man, I mean, it's honestly hilarious if you. It's honestly hilarious if you understand that the Jazz are not really trying to win.
That a huge part of the reason why I'm a huge Yusuf Nurkic fan. It's just like, I know this doesn't matter towards the wins and the losses, nor do I really care anyways about wins and losses, but because I know specifically wins and losses don't matter, just enjoy the show. Just enjoy what you're looking at. And he's fun to look at play basketball. He's fun to not just like break down. I'm not trying to get Xy and OE with him. He's just, you never know what to expect out of it. So it's truly, in a raw sense, very enjoyable to watch. And yeah, sometimes it's just chaos. Sometimes it's pure chaos. And I'm sure if you're a real Jazz fan, you're pulling your hair out. And if you can get past that, you'll have an entertaining night every time he's on the floor.
154. Lauri Markkanen misses driving, floating jump shot. Yusuf Nurkic, offensive rebound. This is with the Jazz up 1, by the way. Yusuf Nurkic, missed tip shot.
Yeah.
Case and Wallace, defensive rebound.
I mean, it's over and over. I went and found one because part of my story last night that I wrote was, kind of how critical he is to what the Jazz were doing last night, because as soon as he was in foul trouble, he just acquiesced and let everyone get to the basket. And their last, other than Shai Gilgeous-Alexander's last 2 buckets in regulation, which were jump shots, they went like dunk, layup, dunk, layup, dunk to close the game, because he got his 5th foul and he's like, well, I'm not going to foul out. So just do whatever you want at the basket. And the Jazz gladly let the Thunder get back into this game, because the Jazz were up 8 with 6 minutes to go. But on one possession, you looked and I was like, how did the Jazz not score here? And it was just Nurkic. Tap in, miss, tap in, miss, tap in, miss.
No, the most egregious one was the Jazz up 2 with 44 seconds to go. Mm-hmm. He's falling down and throws it over his shoulder. Like, if he just finishes the play or even lets somebody else make a hoop, then the Jazz are up 4, and all of a sudden it's a 2-possession game, and now you have to get into, Oklahoma City has to cut it to a 1-possession game, or you get into the foul stuff and it's over. I mean, they had multiple opportunities to close the door, specifically that one with 44 seconds left to go, and managed to somehow
not get there.
I mean, it just was not great late game execution, Bob. Only to be outdone by Kentucky last night, but that's really
a whole different story.
That is a whole different story. Did you see their last possession coming out of a timeout?
I did. Well, you get selfish point guards who can't shoot, who want to hoist. It's difficult to win games in college that way.
But the coach called his number. It was coming out of a timeout. Mark Pope is really in serious trouble.
Yeah, he is. He's not going to make it out of the season.
No. 0-2 in the SEC. That was the first win for Mizzou ever at Rupp Arena.
Oh, really?
Ever.
Wow. I saw they hadn't lost a home opener in SEC play in like 12 years. It's like, he's off to a very bad start.
Oh, and Mizzou hasn't been in the SEC that long. Don't keep that in mind. I guess it's not like it's some game that's been played since the '60s or something. But still, that's really something for good old Mark Pope. But anyway, the clutch situations for the Jazz actually have not been that bad this year. If you go, Locke kind of did a deep dive into the old numbers, and they've actually been pretty good. Last night was not an example of that. They were not good. Solid. And I thought that the whole team was making a concerted effort to guard, Keontae George included. Mm-hmm. But I think that something different could have happened on that final possession. Shea getting a wide open jump shot is got to be the last thing you want, right? And I'm talking about the end of regulation.
The buzzer beater.
Yeah. I mean, coming out of that timeout, you got to be like, okay, we're going to give him anything. But Shea Gilgeous-Alexander with a wide open jump shot.
Yeah, Keontae ends up behind him to that point, so he's not being double teamed to get the ball out of his hand at all costs.
But Will said after the game, and it's really true, and it's not a moral victory thing, but he's like, with a young team, you learn so much from these games. Yeah, if you make mistakes or you do things right or whatever, you can come away from it and being like, hey, Keontae, the last thing you can do is be behind him.
I'm generally out on the idea of like a good loss and like, oh, you learn something from them. Like you just have to break through and win games, and that's all. The only thing that matters at the end of the season. I do think last night is the exception to those types of games where...
Listen, you play the best team in the league down the stretch, down the wire, and play them into overtime. You're going to take lessons from it. Shea Gilgeous-Alexander is arguably the best player in the league.
And
so even if you watch what he does at the end of games, even if you just take notes while he does it, you're going to learn something.
And I thought Lowry was exceptional last night, 29 and 13. Keontae was not perfect last night and finished with 25 and 11. I mean, a game you would have killed for from him if you were a Jazz fan last year or the year before.
Oh, it's just the norm now.
And the reason why, their clutch play is so much better, I would suspect I'd have to look at the numbers of who's there, but I think it's because Keontae can actually execute the offense. And then I thought Walt Clayton was really good, other than 3 air balls. I thought Walt is like the player who was on the floor the entire fourth quarter and overtime and held his own.
Listen, I understand kind of the answer as to why of this question I'm going to ask, but let me ask you this. Does Lowry get the worst whistle in the league? Because he is the thing he added to his game this year. They got rid of all that catch it at the nail crap that he sucked at. Mm-hmm. And the difference in his game this year is he is going to the basket with a force because the other team always 99% of the time has to guard him with a smaller player based on his skill set. Mm-hmm. So what he's figured out is I'll just run this smaller guy over and they'll have to react or I'm going to get a dunk. And he's become really good at it. The problem is they never call it. I mean, Shea gets all these phantom whistles. Lowry was eating elbows all night long and he can't buy a call. And I think it's because referees don't think they don't think he can do that. They're not used to it. That's not his whatever. You're catch and shoot soft guy. You don't get a whistle. You're not drive guy. You're not any of that. And he doesn't get a superstar whistle, even though I would think he's earned that. He doesn't get any of that stuff. He gets the toughest whistle in the league. I give him a lot of credit for continuing to be a salty go to the rim guy because it doesn't pay off for him.
I think you get a lot more whistles when you play in isolation, which Lowry does not. All of his baskets come off of pin downs and screens and, one dribble and right to the basket. It's not like he's out there attacking the rim off the dribble by himself all that often or coming off of like a screen with the ball in his hand. So I think that hurts you. And I think the point you make is really a good one because you look back, truthfully, Shaq probably should have shot 1,000 more free throws in his life than he did. And he lived at the free throw line. Zach Edey gets fouled every possession because he's so big, but because he's so big, they just don't call the whistle every time. Lowry gets guarded by smaller players, and I wonder if that covers up some of the fouls.
I would believe it.
They just don't call the fouls when it's a little guy. It's like, well, yeah, you just bullied him out of the way, so it's kind of your fault too, so we're just not going to blow the whistle. Anyway, and I do think he has the reputation as kind of like a softer player, which clearly he's not, but I think he has that reputation, so maybe he doesn't draw those calls.
It's wild, though, because he goes to the bucket a lot.
He doesn't flail. He's not a flailer either.
And not demonstrative.
No. Keontae's a much better flailer. Keontae's gotten really good at drawing fouls.
Anyway, I've noticed Lowry does. He goes to the basket a lot. And I would argue that he does drive a ton this year. I mean, he's totally added that to his game. It's been a huge difference. I would argue it's the reason he's averaging 30 points a game and not 24.
Yeah, for sure. What are his free throw attempts this year? Lowry is at 6.6, which is a good number. It's crazy that Keontae's at 7.1. That's a huge number.
He only went to the line 5 times last night. How many times? Remind me again. How many times did Shea go?
How many was it?
19. 19.
That's a lot.
The Jazz had, 21 free throws as a team. Everybody put together. Shea, 19.
19. Well, that's pretty good. It's a lot of points. You can average 20 points per game just by getting to the line.
You know what it is. It's fun to watch. I love it.
It's good basketball.
I love it. When that whistle blows and everybody stops and Shea goes to the line, I'm thinking, hot dog.
Hopefully we get to overtime.
Yeah, this is a thing. Hopefully we get overtime tonight too.
Team
Great.
53. Yeah.
Throw a review in there.
Oh, maybe a couple. That'd be awesome. Who was it? Portland? Was it Portland that reviewed when they were up 20?
Was it yesterday or against the Jazz?
Against the Jazz on Monday. They were up 20.
Yeah.
They're like, let's review it.
I've got a rule for that. If you're up double digits and you review and you get it wrong, the coach should get fined $10,000.
Oh no, I've told you my idea for a rule on this, right? Okay, brace yourself.
Okay.
All right.
If
The coach loses, the head coach of the team that loses a challenge. Now, my official opinion is get rid of replay altogether. But if we must have it, if the coach loses a challenge, if the coach is wrong and stopped the game for no reason other than his player is crying and waving his finger around, that coach has to go to mid-court. The other team gets to pick a player, and that player gets to kick the coach right in the nuts.
I thought maybe you were going to say throw the ball at him from, the baseline, dodgeball style.
Right. I mean,
You went way higher.
Just stand there in front of everybody, and you pick the heaviest leg on your team.
Yusuf Nurkic.
Bam.
Hey! Bang! Come on, man! Bang!
I mean, then
You're right. There would never be another challenge. There would never
really
be another challenge.
have to. I mean, can you imagine what's that dude's name? He's got a beard now, the Jazz replay
George?
guy. Yeah. Can you imagine him sweating bullets when the coach looks at him and goes, should we replay it? I mean, he's going to be dang sure.
I got to be.
Because that guy's getting fired.
I like in hockey that there's a penalty if you get it wrong. There is. If you challenge, and this happened last night with Ottawa, if you challenge a call, in this case a goal for goalie interference, and you get it wrong, then you're on the power play or on the penalty kill for 2 minutes after that. So, it's really punitive if you make a mistake.
Well, in basketball, that just adds more free throws.
It
So that
does just
doesn't
add
help
more
Jake
free
at
throws.
all.
No.
But if you get a technical foul for getting it wrong and the other team gets to shoot a free throw, maybe you don't call that, you don't challenge it as often because it could cost you a point.
But kicking the coach takes about 30 seconds, and
You're
I think
right.
we'd all be entertained by that.
Nobody would ever call it. It would be insane to be like, sorry, Mike Budenholzer, line up.
Imagine the look on Will's face if they lost one. Oh!
This thing is Will's pretty tall, but then NBA players are tall, so the math is not that difficult. But yeah.
All right.
Steve Clifford.
Stay tuned.
Shot to the groin.
Who wouldn't want to watch that? That is ratings getting television.
You would have a lot of coaches retiring earlier in their lives.
All right, stay tuned. Top 3 stories next. 97.5 the KSL Sports Zone.
It's time to break down the biggest stories of the day. This is the top 3 stories of the day on KSLSports.com. 97.5 the KSL Sports Zone.
All right, time for the top 3 stories of the day here on Jake and Ben. Christian, where do you want to start today?
Number 1, BYU replacing Jay Hill. They find their defensive coordinator.
Kelly Poppinga, Ben, K-pop, going up, up, up. He's going to be golden. Excited for K-pop today.
That song's a bop. That song's great. That's the movie's good. The song's incredible.
He's going to be golden, Ben.
I was not expecting that.
He's going up, up, up.
So let me gather myself for a minute.
He's been promoted.
K-pop, you're
Gonna
right.
be promoted.
He's been promoted.
He's been promoted. Yeah.
No, gonna be.
Gonna be golden.
No, he's got to be golden.
Gotta be golden.
He's got to be golden.
He's gotta be golden. Going up, up, up in the world.
He's been promoted.
K-pop.
This is kind of what I had, talked about earlier this week. It kind of seemed like that was the direction they were heading in.
Up.
But within house. And they stayed with Kelly Poppinga. We'll see. Again, it's what you got from Jay Hill was so much with his experience as a head coach, with his knowledge of in-state recruiting, which Kelly Poppinga should have some of too, as well. But play calling that Jay Hill was so good at, and that Jay Hill brought a bunch of absolute dudes with him from Weber State, and you're not necessarily getting that now with Kelly Poppinga. So you've got to go out and find how to bring in guys and how to replenish that class, and that's going to be the difficult part. But yeah, good hire.
Yeah, good hire. He's a good guy. I like the Poppingas. He's been around BYU for a long time. People say, mentored by Jay Hill is a way to justify it. I don't think he coached under Jay Hill for a couple of years, but really his roots go much more to Bronco Mendenhall and coming up under Bronco. Followed Bronco to UVA, coached with Bronco there for a long time. And I bring that up mainly because there's one thing I care about that he does or does not do. And I will highlight something I was wrong about. I'm not wrong often, but I was wrong about something in regards to Jay Hill. I was skeptical about it really succeeding because when he first got the job, he was talking about how, they're going to be aggressive and they're going to play the Kyle Whittingham-style defense. And I said, sure you are. Because I've heard that from every BYU defensive coordinator going back to when Bronco was the defensive coordinator. Mm-hmm. And they all decide that it's better to drop 8. Because BYU, the players that they can recruit, doesn't really fit that system.
Usually
and
have the athletes on the back end.
All end up dropping 8. I mean, Tuiaki, you want to talk about his downfall? He didn't forget how to coach, is that he ended up having to drop 8. Or at least convincing himself that he had to drop 8. It happened to every BYU defensive coordinator. I assumed it was going to happen to Jay Hill too, and it did not. So, can K-Pop keep the recruiting going up, so they can have the players that can run that defense? That was what Jay Hill did that succeeded at BYU. He got players, whether he got them from Weber or whether he got them from somewhere else, he got players that could run the dang defense, and he didn't have to drop 8 and play this umbrella defense, bend but not break garbage that we've seen for a long, long time. And if K-Pop can continue that and recruiting players that can run that system and be aggressive and be all the things that BYU was this past year and the year before, I think it hinges on that.
No question about it. Can he do it? We don't know.
I mean, Kalani didn't do it when he originally got to BYU. Tuiaki didn't do it. Bronco ended up changing his entire defense. He was a 3-3-5 stack guy until he got the head coaching job at BYU and then had to totally change what he's doing. So, can K-Pop meld his, Bronco stuff with his Jay Hill stuff? I mean, I'm really interested to find out. I mean, he's a smart guy. Be creative. I bet it'll look a little bit different. But that's the one thing. Don't turn back into drop 8, umbrella, try not to lose defense.
He has some good news, but that comes as part of number 2.
Number 2, we got a lot of transfer portal news. A lot of players announcing they are sticking around. We got a few players, both BYU and Utah, announcing they are hitting the portal.
For Golden K-Pop, it's good news that we know Falatau Satuala is coming back, and then Isaiah Glasgow is also coming back. Those are 2 major playmakers that you need to have that ideally, especially with Satuala, may prevent you from having to drop 8, what you're saying, if they can avoid it. Utah, though, getting some good news over the last 24 hours. First of all, Jonathan Hall is remaining in Utah. That's a key linebacker to retain. And then yesterday, Wayshawn Parker announced that he was also going to be returning to Utah. So you're starting to get some of these pieces of the offense committing.
Well, there's some bad news that everybody's been about. J.J. Buchanan's leaving.
Has entered the portal, yeah.
Yeah, who everybody was thinking would be wide receiver / tight end 1 next year. And everybody was really bent about Kyle Whittingham apparently tampering with him.
And he was Utah's best, probably just best player overall. Maybe Devin Dampier was the best player, but Buchanan was the best pass catcher in the Vegas Bowl, certainly.
Yeah, I mean, had a huge game. So people are a little bent out of shape about that. Did we talk about Isaac Wilson going to Colorado? Ben, you thought he was going to Weber. He's going to Colorado.
He should go to Weber. What's he doing going to Colorado? He's going to compete for the backup job there? I mean, if you want to stay D1 and you want to go play for Deion Sanders and maybe they've got a little money for you, good for you. You know, if that's what it came down to is maybe I can go get whatever money you make as a backup quarterback at the Big 12 level, good for you. But they've got was it Salter coming back? Like, he's a good player. He's going to be their starter, and he's younger than Isaac Wilson. So there's no pathway for Isaac to win the starting job sans injury. So it was a weird move for me.
Unless he goes in there and balls out.
Yeah. Sure. Mm-hmm. Right. Correct.
I don't know. I don't know if he does that or not, but I still think he was given just a horrible situation at Utah, and then everybody moved off him and says he sucks when he was absolutely set up to fail, and I guess did. Mm-hmm. I would argue it probably could have been worse, but
absolutely,
I don't think it was all that fair to him. And you go from everybody thinks you're the next guy to, God, he should really transfer to SUU.
When really the answer should have been, hey, this guy should have had a year or two
to work on it and grow and try and do all that stuff. So I hope he beats out that guy in Colorado, honestly.
Not to mention, he really did not fit Utah's scheme last
No.
year. And I know he barely
at all.
saw the
No.
field, but like in practice and stuff, that really, I don't know how much development you can get.
And Witt loves to ruin experienced quarterbacks, let alone freshman quarterbacks. So I don't know. I'm pulling for that guy to succeed.
The one favor Utah did is they did not burn another year of his eligibility.
And then can I tell you what I am so annoyed with? And it's not these players' fault. Again, it comes back to the stupid system that we're operating in or lack thereof. The announce I'm staying.
Yeah. Re-signed.
So honestly, the Bear threw out his thing last night while I was sitting there watching the Jazz game, and I was like, "Why? I just assumed you were coming back.
I didn't know you were
Why
leaving.
is the assumption now that you're going to put your name in the transfer portal?" And I get why. Again,
Yeah, right. He got a raise.
I understand
I'm sure
why.
Bear got a raise yesterday.
I'm sure he held Kalani's face to the fire. Face to the fire.
Feet to the fire.
Feet to
The
the
Bear,
fire.
though, is
Face.
aggressive.
Face that would be
Burn it up.
That face that was a little.
Get in there.
This guy's really giving it to me.
But I really hate that. I really hate
Absolutely.
that. Like, Wayshawn Parker announces he's staying. It's like, wait, what?
Yeah.
No, the given is you're staying. It's news when you say you're leaving, not when you're staying.
So what about players like Falatau Satuala, who everybody was thinking would hit the portal and go join Jay Hill at Michigan? What about in a scenario like that where the assumption is that they're going to leave?
It's no different. The thing I'm annoyed with is college football is now free agency every single year, whether you say it or not. And I hate it.
I'm totally with you.
Everyone's a free agent. It's all one-year contracts. And in fact, contracts aren't even relevant. Just go ask the University of Washington. So it's all just what do I want at the moment?
Well, I mean, we were talking about J.J. Buchanan a second ago. Was not every Utah fan watching the UNL or the Las Vegas Bowl saying every catch either makes him more expensive or more likely to leave? Isn't that the thought everybody had? I did. I saw Devin Dampier playing that way. I mean, after the game, the sideline reporter asked Devin Dampier if he was coming back. What are you talking about? The game just ended, and she's doing her job. She didn't do anything wrong.
It's the lack of a system.
But that's the entire system being undercut by just a malpractice by the people in charge who could have made these rules earlier.
The Utah State transfer, the receiver who's going to Utah, Brandon Pagan, right? I think Bronco really actually wishes he didn't have a baller year. Like, hey, Brandon.
Yeah, right.
It would have been great if you would have sucked a little more. You'd still be on the team. Yeah, it's terrible. It's just free agency, and I guess I'm beholden to the whim of every college football player now to announce whether they're leaving or staying. And by the way, the Bear could turn around and leave tomorrow.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's what's trying to happen right now at Washington, and it's a whole issue with their quarterback.
Oh, that
right
guy's
now.
gone.
Yeah, you can't welcome him back.
You can't welcome him back. You can sue him and stop him from playing, or at least try. But what are you going to do?
You can
Nothing.
stop
You're
him
not
from
going to
making
make him play for you.
Money, maybe. But yeah, you've burned that bridge. Congratulations. I mean, another part of this is just where this is hairy and where I'm sure this is not necessarily what the University of Utah wants, but Joe Coles, who's reporting this Jonathan Hall news, says Hall's agent says that the deal with Utah makes Hall one of the highest paid linebackers in college football. Like, you don't want that out there. now I have to pay my defensive lineman the most money because I'm better than Jonathan Hall, or I'm a better cornerback than Jonathan Hall is safety. I mean, I think that type of news, which is great for the agent, great for Jonathan Hall, it's not necessarily good news for Utah to get that to leak out. You don't want all these players knowing exactly how much the other player makes. I think that's going to be really hard in your locker room. So, no, it's a mess. It just gets worse. And some good news that some of these guys are coming back. It's going to make their teams better next year, probably. But my goodness.
Name me a job you would rather have than a head college coach in basketball or football.
Manure shoveler at the Thanksgiving Day parade. Every parade. Yeah. Congrats. I mean, the money's great. Awesome. You work 150 hours a week. Your heart's probably going to stop when you're 61 years old, and you're kowtowing to 19-year-olds all day long.
100 17 to 24-year-olds have you by the short hairs 24/7.
And their parents and their agents and everyone in their ear.
I would rather be the person that empties the medical waste garbages in all the doctor's offices. The guy who really has to look out for needles and that sort of thing.
With your bare hands.
I'd rather be that person.
Yeah. It's
all day just going room to room and like, hey, can I dump your bloody gauze, please?
Can I have that? I feel bad for you for college football fans. It's just sports just a disaster. And I get the product is pretty fun still to watch when they're on the field, but like there's no affiliation to the players. It's all front of the name on the front of the jersey, which is fine, but I do think it was fun to watch players develop and grow.
I guess.
Yeah.
Next.
In case you missed it, the Jazz hang with the reigning champs, push them to overtime.
The Jazz seemingly get out of bed in a different team every single night. Some nights they
were down 20.
They were, and then they battled back. And
Yeah.
they were down 20 against the Los Angeles Clippers without any of the starters on the floor and battled back. Like clearly there is a lot of talent here. The Jazz, where this conversation can move eventually, we don't need to have it right now, is that they are starting to get a sense of what their identity should be and where to plug some holes and who's going to be around and who doesn't need to be around anymore. But there is more here legitimately than it looked like there was going to be last year or 2 years ago. Like I don't think if the Jazz decide to make some steps to improve their roster this offseason because they're going to get this lottery pick and then they add a couple of veterans, I don't think that's jumping the gun. I don't think they're rushing it. I don't think they're skipping steps. I do think they are at that point in their maturity and their development to start trying to win games legitimately without thinking you're going to end up in the same cycle 24 months from now.
All right. I feel like you could have that same opinion last year. And
I feel much better about it now that I think Keontae's a real player, and we certainly did not know that last year.
No, but I feel like it's Groundhog Day.
But honestly, if this last year, the Jazz would have been kicking the tires on a Trae Young trade, who got traded to the Wizards.
Oh,
last
we
night.
absolutely have to talk about that. Mm-hmm. In fact, that should have been a number one. What were we talking about? K-pop going up, up, up.
We had drops.
No, I have a name for today because of the Trae Young trade.
Well, let's get to it next.
I have a label for today.
Oh, I love it.
Well, do we have time to dig into that? We've got Olczyk at the top of the 11 o'clock hour. All right. Stay tuned. Jake and Ben, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Who's got it better than us?
Your home for the best sports coverage in Utah. You're listening to Jake Scott and Ben Anderson on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Jake and Ben, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Jake Scott, Ben Anderson. So here's my take. Trae Young gets traded for C.J. McCollum and Corey Kispert.
Yep.
Yesterday, and I find it hilarious. And I'm calling today VA Day, Ben.
Okay.
It's victory over the analytics.
Okay.
Victory over the stupid nerds that have held this sport hostage for far too long now.
Okay.
The fact that Trae Young got traded for a bag of garbage is it's because nobody wanted him. Have you read into some of the behind the scenes stories that they shopped him everywhere?
Oh, I'm sure, yeah.
They shopped him everywhere. Nobody wanted him.
It was funny initially what Trae Young's like preferred destinations were that came out. I can't remember. It was like Houston and Minnesota. It's like, yeah, you want to go play for a team that conceivably you add the right point guard to and they could win a championship. And while it's also difficult for those teams to just make trades, they have the moves for the right guy. You know, if Giannis became available, the Bucks and the Rockets would figure out how to get him.
Let me ask you this. Who do you think leaked that, his preferred destination?
Yeah, Trae's agent.
No.
Who?
The team.
Oh, the Hawks?
The Hawks.
Okay.
Because they got to pretend he has value. They're like, he is a big enough deal to demand where he wants to go.
He gets to go where he wants.
He gets to go where he wants because he's so good and so in demand, and everybody would love to have this guy. And then you're right. It kept dwindling. It kept going, now his preferred.
Like Brooklyn.
Everywhere. The Wizards are everywhere I wanted to go. That was all an act to prop up the value of somebody that Atlanta didn't even want. It is palpable. If you look at Atlanta, they are a night and day different team with when he's playing and when he's not. It's obvious. It's the reason they could not wait on this trade any longer because his value dipped and dipped and dipped every single time he played because people realized, and did I bring this up with you? I can't remember. But Kevin Pelton was on with Locke the other day in Portland, and Locke asked him about all these players and whether he's still on them and their potential or off, And Pelton was like, I'm still with Trae Young. And Pelton's the nerdy analytics guy because they all love him because he's a stat packer. And you can point at the obvious, which is, this guy is a 25-10 guy. Are you kidding? This guy's amazing. No, he's not. He just has the ball in his hands the whole game. And you're not going to win with this guy. And the league has finally realized it.
Yeah.
The league has finally come to its senses being like, why would I want this dude? I don't care how many stats he puts up. And by the way, he's going to score 35 a night in Washington if he ever plays.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like he's going to play. When I first saw this, I thought, if you're a Jazz tanking fan, I tweeted this. This is probably good news because Trae Young does elevate you from a 17-win team to a 30-win team. Honestly, by himself, he does that because he runs an offense by himself. The problem is he doesn't get you closer to 60 wins. He doesn't get you closer to 55 wins. He's got a floor-raising ability and a ceiling capping. He really caps you. Because he has to be on the floor so much. He has to have the ball, and he's so flawed.
It makes all their young players worse. I don't even know if he makes them a 30-win team. I really don't. But he's not going to play.
He's probably not going to play this year. Which also, what a crazy trade. I mean, that's how pathetic the Wizards are. We're going to take this guy, never play him, pay him $45 million next year, knowing that he's not going to actually turn you into a good team.
No, they didn't give up any picks, though, right?
No, they didn't. They gave up basically nothing. It's a total flyer.
No, in fact, they gave up salary they didn't want, and they could let Trae Young be a free agent after this year.
But he's
they really wanted.
He's going to pick up his contract. He's got
to pick up his option. Yeah. That's probably true.
And then they're going to be beholden to him the same way Atlanta has felt like they were beholden.
Well,
to
they
him.
think that they're an upcoming team that's ready to turn the corner. And after this next draft, they keep their pick, and next stop, Houston and Oklahoma City. But that's just not reality, not in my opinion. And certainly Trae Young doesn't help you get there. But I'm sure Washington has their own analytics nerd who's like, look at this guy. He's averaging 25. Like they have their own guy who's wrong, who's trying to convince them that this is the thing to do. This is the team that supermaxed Bradley Beal. And I loved all the old maid tweets I got yesterday, by the way. I enjoyed every single one of them. Washington now has the new old maid.
And they do.
And they're going to supermax him, I bet.
It is funny that teams cannot help but be themselves. The Sacramento Kings can't not be the Sacramento Kings. The Washington Wizards get rid of Bradley Beal. They finally wake up. They have the epiphany. They're like, this guy is killing us.
This guy fleeced us.
Fine, we'll get Chris Paul back. Whatever. We'll get off of Bradley Beal finally. And then the first chance they have to replace him with Bradley Beal.
With the same guy.
It might work for us.
Same guy. Same thing.
It's pretty insane.
Same situation.
And that's why those teams are those teams. And they will always be those teams. And you can be grateful that you're a Jazz fan. And while the Jazz have never won a title, historically there is some respect in the organization that will allow it to stay that way. That New Orleans, that the Kings, that in a way sometimes the Suns, certainly the Wizards are never able to have. The Charlotte Hornets, unfortunately, are just never going to be able to not marry LaMelo Ball. And they will marry the next LaMelo Ball that comes down, even when they're dating a good guy in Con Knipple or Brandon Miller and they have some good pieces. They can't not fall in love with LaMelo Ball. And they're going to do it over and over again. Quickly, the Hawks records since drafting Trae Young. This is exactly what I'm talking about. 29 wins the first year, 20 wins the second year, 41 wins. They go to the Eastern Conference Finals, beat the Philadelphia 76ers and Ben Simmons' career, essentially. 43 wins, 41 wins, 36 wins, 40 wins. It's just like that's your ceiling. You can have Trae Young and you can win 40 games. And you know what? For the Wizards, maybe that's worth it. Maybe they just say, like, well, otherwise it's 22 and that's miserable. So let's get back to 41. But you can't ever get above that.
You know who's having a great day today? Quinn Snyder. Quinn's having a terrific
Absolutely.
day. He doesn't like telling people no. Certainly Trae Young.
And CJ McCollum can come in and do exactly what Trae was doing. Just like a little bit of nonsense here and there. Needs the ball less.
No, they're going to be the same average team, probably.
Corey Kispert can come in
better.
and shoot a bunch. Yeah. Corey Kispert will actually play. I don't think he's played at all for the Wizards, hardly at all this year because they were tanking.
Matter. He's just throwing it in.
But, yeah, he'll come in and be an okay rotation player, and, yeah, they get a little depth. But, yeah, he doesn't have to deal with them anymore.
No, Trae was a net negative. They're a better team today.
Though the rumor is the Hawks want to trade these pieces, C.J. McCollum,
for
and
Anthony
maybe draft
Davis.
picks for Anthony Davis. We'll see if that's...
For old street clothes.
I know.
I hope it happens.
Never see him on the floor.
I hope it happens. All right, stay tuned. We're going to talk to our buddy Nick Olczyk. Some Mammoth hockey coming up next, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
The exclusive home of the Utah Mammoth is on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Backdoor pass, and they score! Lawson Krause lasers one in, and the Mammoths are off and running. Keller, one-timer, tipped wide, rebound, they score! Johnny Marino makes it 2-0. Tanev around behind the Ottawa net, wraparound, shut down, rebound loose, it's still loose! They're trying to jam it in, Miralainen got back, Utah saying it's in, and it is! The Mammoth kick down the door and make it 3-1!
You're listening to Jake Scott and Ben Anderson on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Jake and Ben, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. It's time to talk a little Mammoth hockey. Our next guest is brought to you by Hercules First Federal Credit Union, growing stronger together. Of course, he's on the Mammoth broadcast, joins us every Thursday. He's our buddy Nick Olczyk. What's going on, Nick?
Jake and Ben, what's up, boys? Jake, thanks for taking some time out of your schedule to join us. It was just Ben and I last week. It was nice, but it's exciting to have to be able to chat with the both of you here this week.
Well, I could step out for a minute, Nick, if you need. If you and Ben had such a good time, I can find something else to do.
Not at all. We love you very much, so we're glad you're here.
Well, Nick, let's start off with the big news yesterday, and this is funny. We talked about it. I said, knowing Ryan Smith the way that we do a little bit and his ambition, there was probably going to be an outdoor game coming to Utah at some point. I had no idea they would announce that the Winter Classic would be in Utah within the week.
Yeah, it was an amazing moment for the franchise, for both Ryan and Ashley Smith, the governors of the Utah Mammoth, and I think a huge moment just to begin, a huge moment for the National Hockey League, because after that game is played between the Mammoth and the Colorado Avalanche at Rice-Eccles Stadium to kick off 2027, after that game is played, every team in the NHL will have participated in an outdoor game. So huge kudos to the league, first off, for trying to get everybody involved. Now, look, there were some teams that had to wait a while. Other teams like the Utah Mammoth who have done everything right. And some could say, yeah, Nick, you're just saying that because there's a check that hits your account 2 times a month and whatnot. But just speaking honestly here, they've done everything right. The branding, the fan engagement, decisions with the team, involvement in the community, especially at the grassroots level. Like there has not been a wrong step taken by Ryan and Ashley Smith, as well as the entire organization, Chris Barney and Chris Armstrong and Bill Armstrong, and everybody involved in the decision making for the Utah Mammoth. So just wanted to make sure that I made that very clear, and kudos to the league, Mr. Commissioner Gary Bettman, Bill Daly, Steve Mayer, who is in charge of all of the events that the National Hockey League run throughout the course of a season, who does a phenomenal job. But now on to the game. Like, this is the Super Bowl of the regular season. This is the marquee event. This is the signature day and weekend on the National Hockey League regular season calendar. It's a celebration of the game, bringing hockey back to its roots. Everything's going to sound different. It's going to look different. And we're going to have hockey being played not only outdoors, but in a football stadium. It's like just saying that and trying to understand the gravity of everything that it is going to, the game is going to support and bring to life. The economic and community impact around the Salt Lake area and, of course, the great state of Utah. The impact that's going to have on fans, being able to get more fans as opposed to 16,000, there's going to be 50,000 people to be able to watch a National Hockey League game within the elements with an incredible backdrop around Rice Eccles Stadium. And our broadcast team, we had a chance to be there for the big announcement yesterday with the league and the team, and just being in the stadium and trying to imagine what it is going to be like for the Winter Classic game. The possibilities are endless. The support is there from everybody within the state. And so I can't wait for it to get here. The one thing I've been trying to do with my New Year's resolution, guys, is to enjoy the moment a little bit more. But it's hard to enjoy the moment when you've got something like this that is happening within a year. So I think the partnership of the league as well as the team, it certainly starts there. And I just want to say thank you to everybody involved for making this possible, because I know it is going to be something that Mammoth Nation and that everybody here in the state of Utah is never going to forget once it does happen.
I was talking about this yesterday. I love the idea of introducing the elements to a sport that does not traditionally have it, right? An outdoor for the. So my guess, Nick, my question is, are you like me and rooting it for it to be like Mystery Alaska, like 20 below, like bring Little Richard out, or have it be puke and snow or something? I want to see it be gnarly.
Yeah. I think that would only add to the mystique of the game. And for those who are listening, and Jake and Ben, not sure if you guys have seen it, maybe you have, but I would encourage everybody to go on YouTube and type in highlights to the first ever Winter Classic game, which was 2008, the Buffalo Sabres against the Pittsburgh Penguins. And it has been affectionately nicknamed the Snow Globe game. It was in Buffalo. I think it was at the Ralph Wilson Stadium there where the Bills play, and obviously Buffalo synonymous with a ton of snow throughout the winter time, and it was coming down. Like it was just snow was dumping from the sky, and you had people in the crowd, part of Bills Mafia. They were taking their shirts off. They were getting close to naked when it was snowing like crazy. The game just had a feel of old-time hockey, playing out on the ponds with your friends, not wanting to come off because you wanted to keep playing even though it was snowing like crazy. And it did create that snow globe effect. And so definitely that's going to add to the elements. And I think the one thing that we won't have to worry about here in Utah is like the two things that are so worrisome when it comes to playing an outdoor game. And considering the refrigeration units that the league has to bring in, they have their own ice gurus and the ice making machines. It's really two things: it's direct sunlight to the ice and rain. And rain probably hopefully won't have to worry about. And obviously, I know a lot of it depends on the temperature and whatnot too. But direct sunlight onto the ice can just melt a hole right through it. And rain, it's the worst thing for it because it's going to be slushy and slow, and that's not at all what you want. Now, the hope is, and the governor, I think, guaranteed it, that the weather is going to be about 28 degrees and a light snow. I think that's what was promised yesterday at the press conference, funnily enough. But those are kind of two things I think that you're hoping against, and I've got no doubt, considering how well everything has gone here in the great state of Utah, that everything is going to end up being just perfect. And I really can't wait to see the pomp and circumstance and the impact that this has on the state, allowing more people to be able to see a National Hockey League game in an amazing setting, but also the impact it has on the surrounding community economically, but also, too, for the families of the players and the team. That plays a huge role as well. All the families get to come into town. They get to skate on the rink after the practice the two teams will have the day before the game. So it really is a celebration of hockey and everybody involved in it, both the fans, the players, and everybody else.
Nick, clearly NHL Commissioner Gary Bettman is a fan of Ryan Smith and, has appreciated the way he's taken over the Arizona Coyotes and turned them into the Mammoth and done it so quickly. And now they're rewarded with a Winter Classic. While Gary Bettman certainly seems to be a fan, how do you think the rest of the league views the Mammoth as an organization? Is there some legitimacy here? Because I got the sense that the Coyotes weren't particularly well respected, somewhat due to ownership, somewhat due to their inability to make the postseason. Do you think that's changed at all?
I do. And
or is there a skepticism? Do you think there's a skepticism about the team?
Yeah, no, it's a really fair question because, with talking about the Coyotes, like look, first of all, I could never imagine what it would have been like. So I grew up in Chicago, and I never could have imagined what it would have been like, growing up and having my team leave, right? I mean, that's, it's something that is, it makes you emotional just thinking about the team you grew up living and dying with, that were to leave your market. And look, obviously it became an untenable situation for a lot of people involved. The league stepped in and Ryan and Ashley Smith stepped up, and what they've done to transform this team, to unlock and in a way seemingly unshackle hockey operations, to be able to go out and make moves and not have to worry about the finances as much, to try to make the team even better by bringing in players that you're going to have to pay a lot of money to. I think that plays a role. And again, that is no shot or disrespect at all for those who were formerly running the Arizona Coyotes. I think just looking at it from a point of view, from an outsider's point of view, it just seemed like that was kind of one of the reasons why the move was made. But living my life now and seeing on a day-to-day basis how things are done, all you have to do, guys, is look at the practice facility. I mean, you talk about being, a huge attractor for other players around the league, and for everybody to look at you and go, wow. It's like now all of a sudden you're the most handsome guy or the prettiest girl at prom. It's like everybody just looks at you and goes, wow, like you've got a multi-million-dollar practice facility. The rink, the Delta Center, which was originally made, as we all know, for basketball and had some sightline issues for hockey, that's being renovated last summer and over the next 2 summers to make sure everybody can see it. It just seems like everybody in the situation right now for the Mammoth, from Ryan and Ashley Smith on down, the one goal, the drive, the ambition is to try to give this team everything in its power and its ability to be a winner, and to be a team that the state of Utah and everybody who lives here and everybody who lives abroad from Utah that is a fan can be proud of. And I think it ties into what we talked about earlier with the connection to the league and the respect that there is there. So, yeah, I would say that the Utah Mammoth right now are without a doubt a prized gem within the league, just based on even the optics without the insider's point of view, with everything that they've done, the renovations, as I mentioned, finding a way to get an outdoor game in what will be just the third NHL season here in Utah. And with this place quickly becoming a destination for hockey players to want to play, to want to live, and hopefully to want to settle down. But I do think, to the heart of the question, that this place, this team, the ownership, and everybody involved, I think is very rapidly becoming a place where everybody looks to and will start beginning to base how they would like to run their organization off of.
All right, 7-game homestand. They won game number 1 against Ottawa last night. What do you think they need to do to set a good tone for the remainder of the season with this stretch?
Yeah. This was actually something that our great TV host Kim Becker and I had touched on in the pregame show last night before taking on the Ottawa Senators. So 7 games, a possibility of 14 points. Obviously, you want to win every game, so you're looking for 14 points. But again, National Hockey League, especially this year, even compared to other years, the parity, every game being so difficult, no matter the team's in the playoffs, out of the playoffs, doesn't matter. I think the realistic goal is you're looking for 11 or 12 points. That's a very high points percentage out of the possible 14 available. But if this team wants to make the playoffs, I really do think, guys, and I would love to revisit this once we get to game 82. I firmly believe is that this stretch will be the make or break if this team wants to make the playoffs. Nobody has played more road games than the Utah Mammoth, and nobody has played fewer home games. And with the fact that Utah has been much better at home this year than they were last year, this stretch right here, I do think is going to be pivotal in their hope and their hunt to make the playoffs. And you just look at some of the teams that they're playing. Just because a team isn't in the playoffs now, you really can't put too much stock into that because the majority of these teams are just a couple of points out. But just kind of going game by game, the Ottawa Senators, it was a huge win, 3-1, especially once the Senators had their push. When the game was 2-1, the Mammoth were able to absorb it, push back, find a way to win that game 3-1. Then the St. Louis Blues, I mean, it's coming up tomorrow. They've had a really rough season, but again, a team that always finds a way to hang in there and hang around. So that'll be a tough game. Then the Columbus Blue Jackets, who have really struggled in a big way. They're currently sitting last in the East. Okay, I want everybody to hear this. They're sitting last in the East, and they're still just a couple of points out of a playoff spot. So this team right now only 6 points out. That's only 3 wins. Now they got to jump a bunch of teams, but only 6 out as they currently sit dead last in the East. And you got the Toronto Maple Leafs, who are as volatile as any team, but as we know with the likes of Austin Matthews, William Nylander, they can beat anybody on any given night. Then the Dallas Stars, who have gone through a huge, huge downturn here lately, but still one of the best teams in the league. And then you end the homestand against the Seattle Kraken, who've had a great year. And then the Philadelphia Flyers, who have a bunch of skill, especially in their forward group. So just going game by game, there's going to be 0 games where it's a gimme, just as it has been the case all year. But I really do think, guys, out of the possible 14, they got to find a way to get 11 or 12 points. And when we look back, I do think this will be the stretch that will be the make or break should this team be able to punch their ticket into the postseason.
Continuing our series of Let's Get to Know Nick Olczyk a little bit better. You're an NHL lifer. We've talked to you about your favorite cities and kind of your favorite things off the ice. Since you've been around the league your entire life, who are your favorite people that are around the NHL right now? Who are the people you look forward to seeing when you get to make your stops and travel and like to welcome to Salt Lake?
Wow. That's I don't think I've ever been asked that question before. So that is that's a hell of a question. I've been very fortunate and blessed to have become friends with a lot of broadcasters that I've looked up to in a huge way. And so, you know, a couple that come to mind is the broadcast team over in Vegas, Dave Gosher and Shane Knighty, who I think have a top show in the National Hockey League, and guys that I try to watch consistently. You know, the guys out in Boston, Judd Surratt, who I know when he was calling games for the Chicago Blackhawks. And Andy Brickley, who's been speak about a lifelong fan and or a lifelong hockey lifer. That being Andy Brickley, having played in the National Hockey League as well and been a broadcaster there for a long, long time. And it's always great to run into current NHLers that are former teammates of mine. Because look, guys, I live my dream. I've been broadcasting games in my bedroom since I was about 6 years old, doing play-by-play, color, pre and post in my room at 2 a.m. Only to hear have my mom bang on the door yelling at me to go to bed. We laugh about it now because I'm living my dream at the highest level, but I always wanted to play in the NHL, and I was lucky enough to end up playing Division I in college, and just as you get older, the pyramid gets much tighter, and the playing was not in it for me, and I'm perfectly at peace with that. But to be able to come across with and reconnect with some former teammates of mine who I played junior with, who I played college with or against is really special to be able to run into those guys and call games through them. Guys like Brandon Montour, who is one of the top D in the league playing for the Seattle Kraken. So it's always fun when I get to call his games and chat with him before the game. A guy like Brock Besser, who plays for the Vancouver Canucks, a guy I played with who was just an absolute stud when we played together for the Waterloo Blackhawks in the United States Hockey League. So I would say, certain broadcasters that I've always looked up to and always try to watch and gain information from. It's always great to see them and former teammates of mine who I look up to a lot, because at the end of the day, they're doing what a lot of young kids and people always wanted to do, and so it's such an honor to be able to call their games. And as you guys know, you're never going to be friends with everybody, but I really do sincerely try my best to treat everybody with respect and kindness. And you got to have a little fun every once in a while too. But it's always a blessing to be able to run into friends, people that you know, but also make new friends along the way. I think that's such an important part of not just this industry, but life. Because at the end of the day, if I could leave everybody with one thing, as I'm getting older and I'm learning, and I'm 29 right now, and hopefully I got a long way to go. The one thing I learn is that the clothes, the jewelry, the cars, the material things are only going to make you happy for so long. And so at the end of the day, when you're laying there on your bed taking your last couple of breaths, the one thing that you hope is that you're going to be surrounded by the people that you love and the people that you made connections with over your life. And so that's the one thing I've really learned that really is most important. So it's great to get around the league and see a lot of those people to answer your question.
I don't know, Nick. A diamond-studded nipple ring would make Will Trubshaw happy for a long time. A long time.
You can take that to the grave.
I could see that. Now, I couldn't see it before, but with how eloquently you described it, I could see it. I'm going to have to bring that up to him tomorrow when I see him.
Thank you, Nick. You're always so great. We really appreciate your time. Thank you very much.
It's my pleasure, boys. Anything for you guys, and look forward to chatting with you next week.
Thanks, Nick.
Next week, Nick's biggest enemies around the league, most hated.
Oh yeah, who he really despises,
and who hates him.
By the way, Will Trubshaw is the producer of the radio broadcast.
You've heard us talk about Jamil, who works with Jake.
Will is the Mammoth version. But Will worked on the Jazz broadcast for several years before he got the gig with the Mammoth. So
yes, notoriously loves wearing tight shirts to show off his piercings.
His piercings. That's him.
Will's a hard worker.
Like Ryan Day.
Yeah.
He's like Ryan Day. Seriously.
Cuomo. Yeah.
All right, stay tuned. We'll have more coming up next. Jake and Ben, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
The sports you love, the teams you can't live without.
Get a sense of urgency!
This is Jake Scott and Ben Anderson on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Jake and Ben, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Jake Scott, Ben Anderson. Thank you for making us part of your day. We can talk some college football playoff. Bobby Hurley had a good line after getting absolutely torn apart by BYU. We'll get to that coming up. But, Ben, did you see that there is a new head coaching vacancy in the NFL?
I did.
Your guy, Netflix star, Mike McDaniel.
Michael. But yeah.
Has been fired.
Relieved.
Is he one of those don't call me Mike guys?
No, he goes by Mike.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just making sure, because there's a few of those.
Yep. There's at least one.
You call Mike Malone, Mike.
You're in trouble.
You're in deep trouble.
Yep.
He's coming for you. Mike McDaniel, though, he and his eyewear have been asked not to return to the Miami Dolphins. But the thing that makes this unique, Ben, and where I'm curious to your speculation is, was it yesterday or it might have been the day before, old Mike was out making the rounds saying that he was going to be part of the general manager hire, that he was going to be in the room when they were hiring
Had some decisions to make.
a general manager.
Yeah.
Do you think the Dolphins told him that?
So did you
Because
hear?
that's a pretty like that's a pretty like I don't know, you just lie right to the guy's face until you're ready to fire him. You know what I mean? That's a you still have a job, but you're cut off your phone line.
Did you
what
hear
I mean?
how he got fired today? He went and met with the owner specifically and got fired without any other input from the front office. Purely like the owner sat down with him, talked to him, whatever. Maybe that was the dinner or whatever when he said, yeah, mull it over who you think you'd like to work for.
Sure. You could be in the interview. Obviously.
Let's check in a few days.
The new GM's job number one is going to be keep you.
And whatever happened, the owner decided that he was out. But yes, this was the owner's decision one-on-one, apparently.
But I find that kind of sad if they were like, yeah, Mike. Yeah, bud. Your opinion really matters around here. In fact, we're going to have you help us pick your new boss. What do you think about that, old Mike? Huh?
Good job, bad job.
Bad job.
Yeah.
Should be a good job.
You would think.
Well, I mean, who doesn't want to live in Miami, right? Well, I guess I could think of a couple of reasons not to, but for the most part.
No, Miami rules.
You know, you hate Florida. What are you talking about?
Miami's not Florida. Different part
I
of the world.
think Miami is quite literally
Just
Florida.
a little tiny section in a little tiny corner over there. Fort Lauderdale, cool. Also, you can see Miami and Fort Lauderdale from one another. You can just look up the coast. But otherwise, anything inland, bad.
But we were talking about this. In the NFL, it is the easiest sport to go from bad to good. Mm-hmm. Not bad to great necessarily. Not good to great, but bad to good. Like worst team in the league to playoffs in 1 year has happened several times in the NFL, right? So you got to ask yourself, why has this franchise been terrible since what Shula was coaching? Even Jimmy Johnson wasn't great in Miami, if you remember. I mean, how many playoff games have they won, honestly, since Dan Marino went to the Super Bowl?
Not a lot.
In his rookie season. There has got to be some sort of reason that they are terrible all of the time.
Yeah, is it too great of a place to live? Is it that you get too comfortable playing there and you can't go anywhere else?
Oh, I think it's obviously Gloria Estefan. She owns the team.
Let's see. Who's the actual owner here? Stephen Ross.
Well, and Gloria Estefan. And like Serena Williams or something like that.
I believe that. Stephen Ross. This might be your problem. 85 years old.
Like that?
The owner of the team. His first year, they went 11-5. Made the playoffs. Lost in the wild card. He bought the team. Now, look, this was not a stalwart of consistency before that throughout the 2000s. They didn't make the playoffs between 2002 and 2007. They make it to the wild card in 2008, losing the first game. Right after he bought the team in 2009, they missed the playoffs 7 years in a row. Made it in 2016 and then missed it 2017, 2018, 2019, 2020, and 2021. So they missed the playoffs in, 10 of his first 11 years of the owner, and then they made back-to-back with Tua under Mike McDaniel in his first couple of years, and then didn't make it in the last two. This might just be rotten ownership.
Gloria and Emilio Estefan, Fergie, Venus and Serena, and Mark Antony.
Oh.
All own parts of the
Miami
Dolphins.
Good.
And they're all doing a crap job. Oh, obviously Gloria doesn't know what she's doing.
Doesn't know how to pick a
hasn't got a
quarterback.
freaking clue. I think, these bad NFL franchises are bad for a reason, are bad for a long time for a reason. And, like quarterbacks get the scapegoat and coaches are the scapegoat. But somebody's hiring the coaches, somebody's picking the quarterbacks. And honestly, I don't know if Tua is the problem there. Tua, I have concern about his long-term health because he's had some bad head injuries. But he's proven himself at times to be a perfectly capable quarterback. I think it's the bozos around. I mean, you trade for Tyreek Hill and you just give him the franchise base. He just runs amok because he's fast.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a great player, but I mean, what kind of environment are you providing these players? Are you giving them the opportunities to win? At some point, it's the person who's furnishing everything. At some point, it's the people running the ship. I mean, honestly, Woody Johnson is the reason the Jets have never been good. He is the reason.
Yeah, absolutely.
And his bozo kid.
I think it's totally fair to put that on in this time. Gloria Stefan, we're really Stephen Ross. Yeah, there's probably a really good argument.
Ferdy's screwing it up.
The owner's just terrible. And that's a part. Because, yes, there's no reason you shouldn't be able to win in Miami. Now, look, it is weird that, what is there, 2? No, there's now 4. They have 4 major league teams, right? All of the 4 major. They have a good soccer team. They have Lionel Messi. That certainly helps. But they win. Like, the hockey team wins. They've won back-to-back champions. They were the Florida Panthers play, aren't they, in Miami? But the Marlins are awful. Always awful. And the Dolphins are always awful. But the Heat have been pretty good. They're pretty respectable. So you can win in Miami. The distractions are not keeping people from winning.
I mean, it's the NFL. It's a cash cow. The NFL is truly the even playing field that college sports always hoped it would be. Yeah. The NFL, they're printing their own money. So it's not like they're like even the Raiders that don't necessarily have an uberly rich owner still have the ability to spend all the money in the world because the NFL generates so much revenue. I mean, there's just no excuse for any franchise. Like, Donald Sterling for years with the Clippers didn't spend the money. The NFL, all these guys have and spend the money. It's not like, well, I guess, what's his name with the old commies owner kind of ran the franchise like a miser, but that was a him problem. Yeah. You don't have to do that. And it is interesting to me that these meddlesome owners that cannot hire the correct people.
And you're right. The Marlins, to your point, Bruce Sherman, his owner, understand what I'm saying here, but his net worth is only $500 million. Well, as a baseball owner, that actually really matters, right? Because you can have basically an unlimited salary, like the Dodgers or like the Yankees, and just spend as much money as you want, unless you truly don't have the money. He doesn't have the money. The Oakland Athletics owner doesn't have the money. So he can't spend like crazy to build a winner the way you would like. That doesn't apply to football.
No.
That should not apply to the Miami Dolphins.
It does not. With hard caps and the guaranteed deals that they have, I mean, there's the ownership in football has so much control that it truly matters. And I remember when the great Stephon Smith said to me, he said, hey, listen, there's a lot of dumb general managers out there. And it's really true. Yeah. I mean, just because you're hired to be a general manager in the NBA or NFL or NBA for that matter, doesn't necessarily mean you know what you're doing. I mean, Mike Mayock, for crying out loud, was the GM of an NFL team for a while.
Yeah.
A bozo talking face on the NFL network. Isn't even good enough to get a job at the Mouse.
On the flip side of
the
this
Raiders hired that guy.
Stephen Ross, a.k.a. Gloria Stefan, is worth $17 billion. He's got plenty of money. He could build the Dolphins out financially if he needed to. But no. Yeah, it's bad ownership.
I happen to think that Brian Flores was a pretty decent coach.
Yeah. The inability to recognize talent when you have it is a huge flaw. It sinks teams. Tyrese Halliburton and the Sacramento Kings. Just like not knowing what you have is a real problem.
And they hire a guy who tells them that he's a genius. And then you go, wow, he must be a genius. Yeah. He's telling me he is, that's for sure.
Mike Brown, Michael Malone, all these guys that are actually pretty good at their jobs, not recognizing what they have.
No. Yeah, there's a reason that the Dolphins always suck. So if you ask me, is that a good job? I would tell you no.
Yeah, probably right. Not under its current ownership. But it's cool. You get to live in Miami.
The Miami Sound Machine is sucking it up as NFL owners. Fine musicians.
Yeah. Really good.
Terrible decision makers when it comes to NFL ownership. Yeah. You think Glory has an office?
Like at the stadium?
Yeah.
And she's like, I gotta dip in.
I'd give her one.
I've got to do some Dolphins business.
In all honesty, I'd want Serena and Venus around as much as possible. Hey, gals, see if you can, I don't know, teach these worthless football players how to win, how to work hard.
Christian, do you know who Gloria Estefan is?
Nope.
Okay. Yeah.
What?
No, I don't.
Gloria Estefan, you don't know who? And the Miami Sound Machine, those jokes are all going over your head?
Way over his head.
Yeah.
She was big in the 90s.
Come on, shake your body, baby,
Yeah.
do that conga?
Yeah. Right.
Nothing?
Oh, okay. I know that song. Yeah, you got to sing it like PK.
Yeah. Rhythm's going to get you.
I'm a visual
The
audio
rhythm
member.
is going to get you, Christian. She's a big deal.
She was.
Yeah, I know the songs.
She was in
I don't
the
know the
90s.
name.
She's an owner of the Dolphins. Of course she's a big deal.
Dolphins.
How about this? The Dolphins have not won a playoff game since before I was born.
Yeah, that's
January 2000.
That's truly insane. You haven't won a playoff game You didn't make it to the playoffs as an 8-8 team at one point, and then
accidentally won.
The opposing team's quarterback got hurt in the opening play of the game.
25
tripped
years.
over his center. 25 years. You haven't accidentally kicked a field goal that won you a game or the opposing team missed.
Again, in a sport where it's the easiest to put it together.
It's amazing.
Killing it. What's the best job open right now?
Good question.
Oh, I think it's easy.
Ravens?
Yeah. By a mile.
You got a great quarterback.
Yeah. And a franchise that's proven to
Pretty respectable.
be a winner.
What all's open?
I mean, you could make the argument the Giants are attractive because
Giants.
of
They've whiffed.
Jackson.
They've been pretty bad for a while. Jackson Dart's
but
okay.
they have a quarterback with potential.
Giants, Dolphins,
You love
Ravens,
Shador, so you'd probably take the Browns job.
Browns, Arizona, Vegas. I'm missing 2.
Miami,
Miami,
Baltimore.
Baltimore. Well, there we go.
That's
Got them all. Yeah, Baltimore by far.
Yeah, by a mile.
Yeah. What's
Would
the
you
worst?
really want to coach the Raiders? Are you kidding?
What's the worst job? Vegas, Arizona, or Miami? Vegas gets you number 1 pick. Arizona gets you Kyler Murray.
Got to be Miami. They're so cash strapped with Tua right now.
Well, so is Arizona with Kyler Murray.
Yeah.
They're in the same boat.
True.
Who's easier to cut contractually?
Geno Smith.
I actually think Tua's better than Kyler Murray. So I will say
Okay.
that Miami is better than Arizona. And with the who knows what's going on with the Raiders. I would think location and stadium would give a bonus to the Raiders. But
Yeah, of course, you would think.
But I don't want to work for that owner. Would you? Would you want to work for that haircut?
You get to work for Tom Brady.
Who's a moron? What? So I can have him come in and tell me what my diet should be? What is that doing for me?
Yeah, nothing. No, Raiders, though, is a good job. Raiders is not a great job, but it's a pretty good job.
Ben, look up how many different head coaches the Raiders have had since. What?
So you think
Go to the
Raiders
late
think it's
90s.
the worst job?
There's an
three?
argument. Yes,
Okay.
I think you can make. It's either that or the Cardinals,
Cardinals are such a mess. They don't have anything going for them.
or maybe the Browns. You didn't put the
I
Browns
know,
in there.
there's some bad jobs.
Because the Browns probably. Wow, who's a worse owner, Haslam or Davis? Yikes!
There's a reason these jobs are open.
Yeah, they're right. And always open. It's a revolving door at all these spots.
God, I guess I'd rather have Mark Davis than.
At least you can trick Mark Davis, like his girlfriend tricked him.
Oh, you're a rich guy? I had no
I
idea.
just thought you were a handsome man.
He married Sharon Stone from Casino. I think she loves him for his
A
look.
thumb with a bowl cut.
All right, stay tuned. Wrapping it up next. 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Whether it's the Jazz, Utes, Cougars, or Aggies, these guys have got you covered.
Time to eat, fellas.
You're locked on to Jake Scott and Ben Anderson
1, 2, 3, move it.
on 97.5 The KSL Sports Zone.
Two amigos on the airways, talking sports. They got him Matrix and also loves his tie-dye. Ben's got style with his scarf. Oh my. From the islands to the basketball courts, they bring me engaging their thoughts. Jake Scott is
Jake and Ben, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Jake Scott, Ben Anderson. Ben, we did not mention today that the Cougars, BYU, absolutely dismantled Arizona State last night. Game we had up in the Radio Command Center. And let me tell you, Arizona State really sucks.
Yeah, I'm not trying to move the goalposts.
BYU's really good.
They
but
are really good. They're a top 10 team. I'm trying to move the goalposts on them. I want to see them play Kansas, Houston, maybe Colorado, and Arizona. Those are the only teams I care about the rest of the year.
Kansas State's not terrible. That's a good win.
That was a good one. It's fine. But I want to see like the other
Iowa
top
State
15
too
teams. Yeah, Iowa State, absolutely.
Is the other one to throw in there. But Arizona State's terrible. And I have no clue how Bobby Hurley still has a job. But I'm glad, at least for today, that he does, because he delivered a really good line after the game last night. Let's play it.
can hang our hat on leaving here tonight is that I think we did stop Chick-fil-A for the students. If I'm not mistaken, I think we were able to get that done tonight. So, that's wonderful.
Hilarious. The only thing we could accomplish tonight is stop the students from getting chicken.
They have the same thing. They have the free throw thing, just like the Jazz. Is that the same?
Yeah.
Okay.
So he's saying the only thing we did well tonight is we made 2 consecutive free throws, or didn't miss 2 consecutive free throws.
Yeah, they didn't make 2 in a row. It is weird that Arizona State is not a good basketball school.
How on earth does Bobby Hurley still have a job? He's been there 11 years, Ben.
He has made
11 years.
He's made the tournament 3 times in his life. Before that, Herb Sendek made it twice in his 9-year run. Rob Evans made it 1 year. But they just don't make it. It's weird that is such a drought of a basketball school.
I don't know if Phoenix is how their basketball community is. I would guess it's pretty good. But in football, the excuse is you can't keep them home. But you don't really have that excuse in basketball because the team is so small.
Yeah.
And you can get players from anywhere.
Well, why didn't Cody Williams go there or J-Dub?
J-Dub wasn't recruited.
Yeah, he wasn't, but they went to Arizona. Okay, so you don't recognize the talent either? You should be getting the best kids from your high schools locally. There's no way J-Dub wasn't one of the best Arizona high school kids. Now, again, maybe it's just the issue that if you're any good, you go to Arizona. Maybe that's the problem. Arizona has historically been so good that nobody ever wants to go to Arizona State. But generally, it does seem like you benefit from being the little brother.
Well, you should be able to recruit to Phoenix. That's honestly, why can't you recruit to Phoenix?
And the great party school in the country.
Just line up the co-eds and that party, whatever, that road that
I've watched
is famous.
Game. Yeah, I know how it works.
Think you'd be able to get a couple of hoopers.
Yeah, outside of James Harden.
I guess there's a reason James Harden did go there.
Yeah, and stayed. Went back for his sophomore year. This is pretty good.
This is awesome. Are you kidding?
I like this.
No, but I just don't I just don't understand it. It's not like Arizona State has been hesitant to fire football coaches. Why has Bobby Hurley been there for 11 years?
They have 2 consensus All-Americans in their history. That's really crazy. It is a very weird group of why have they not had more NBA players? You should accidentally get NBA players. Weber State has NBA players.
More than 2.
Yeah, more than 2, and has good NBA players. I just don't really understand why they can't carve out a Utah State-like niche.
Well, apparently you can go there and do a mediocre to crappy job and keep your job for 11 years.
I want to look at how many guys have come out of Arizona State that are in the NBA.
His record is barely above 500. In those 11 years, his winning percentage is something like 53%.
And maybe they've just accepted that's who they are. Maybe that's good enough for them. They're not seeking for anything more.
In college basketball, you listen to that and you go, okay, above 500. You're probably thinking in NBA terms. In college basketball, if you are a halfway decent program, you automatically get 20 wins because nobody ever plays anybody in non-conference.
Right.
Ever.
Right.
You can schedule yourself to 20 wins, no problem. So if you're barely above 500 or you're for your 11-year run at a school, that's terrible.
Little run in the 80s where they had some decent players. Fat Lever went there. Byron Scott went there. Ike Austin went there. They had a couple of guys that were okay, but my goodness. That's wild.
Fat Lever, I haven't heard that name in a long time.
Yeah, but he was a good NBA player.
He was a good NBA player, yeah.
Right now, obviously, their best player is still James Harden. Lou Dort's in the NBA. We saw him last night. A couple of guys getting cups of coffee. Josh Christopher played with the Jazz for a little bit. Carrick Felix played for the Jazz for a little bit. But, man, just really barren.
And again, Lou Dort was undrafted, so it's not like the Sun Devils did him any favors. He had to battle his way into the league.
Look, and not to discredit Utah, but they fell backwards into Jakob Poeltl. They fell backwards into Kyle Kuzma. They brought DeLon Wright up from the junior college. It's you should accidentally get a couple of guys that make it. We just saw Brandon Carlson's in the NBA right now. He's just a good high school kid who was tall and went to your school and got a little bit better, and then the NBA was well, yeah, we need 7-footers. How do you not accidentally have several of those guys, especially at Arizona State?
I mean, Brandon Davies was a Provo High guy. That was, kind of a layup for BYU. He ended up in the NBA.
Exactly right.
Yeah.
Eric Mika played a while in the NBA. You just go out and you find some guys that break through. Very bizarre. But, yeah, maybe they've just accepted that they're a bad school, bad basketball school, I should say. And so as long as you have a name like Hurley, who is, the athletic director's afraid to fire because he doesn't want to get yelled at, they'll hold on to him.
I would have security with me if I fired Bobby Hurley.
Yeah.
I would have.
Dan Hurley. Bobby?
Dan is at UConn.
Dan's at UConn. This is Bobby.
Either one.
Either one, yeah. Right.
You're like, hey, I'm going to need you because we're firing
firing
Bobby
message
today. So I need a little security and bring at least a taser.
Dan will kill you. Dan's going to try and attack you.
Coach and I were laughing. You remember Dan, after losing in the NCAA tournament last year, walking into the tunnel and telling the next team that was going to play, it was like, I hope you didn't get screwed like us. A lunatic.
Speaking of,
I wish
accents.
he would have taken the Laker job
That would've
because
been
he would have
great.
been fired by now.
Yeah, he would have.
And LeBron would have twisted him into pretzels. It
Would've
would have
run him out
been
of town.
amazing.
Would have been funny.
All right, stay tuned. Hans and Scotty coming up next. Jake and Ben.
Thanks, Christian.
97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.